Hello, this is Rick Saltarelli with Salty Breeze Cruise Planners with this week's segment of Beyond Your Front Door. And today we have a guest with us from Rocky Mountaineer. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Jeff Caesar, the Business Development Manager for the Southeast, to our show. Good morning, Jeff. Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, and I really appreciate your time and everyone who's watching this. Can't thank you enough for all of your time.
And so let's talk a lot about Rocky Mountaineer today because we know that that is a very interesting vacation experience, but maybe not everybody else has heard about it. And how long have you actually been with Rocky Mountaineer?
So myself, I've been with them for coming up to 6 years. I've been 15 years, 16 years really in the travel and tourism industry before Rocky Mountaineer with Norwegian Cruise Line for 10 years, 5 years on ships, working up to the position as a cruise director, and then 5 years overseeing the Midwest. So I have some really good travel and tourism background. But to circle back to your first initial part of the question, Rocky Mountaineer, if you're not familiar, we are a train and tour operator based in the Canadian Rockies. It's a luxury, fine dining, seamless travel experience where you'll never sleep on board. You stay in hotels every night as we take you from Vancouver over into the beautiful Canadian Rockies, places like Banff, Lake Louise, Jasper. Breathtakingly beautiful places, actually very close to home if you think about it.
And so, Jeff, what attracted you, since you were with Norwegian, what attracted you to the travel industry in the first place?
Boy, my background has really been traveling all over the world. There was a certain time in my life when I was in third, fourth, fifth, sixth grade living in Hong Kong. I've traveled all over Australia, all over China, all over Africa, Europe, everywhere in Europe, South America, North America. So growing up, I was very well cultured. My parents really believed in sightseeing and traveling. So it made sense for me to kind of fall back into the travel industry just because I had so much great experiences from growing up. I love the fact of traveling around the world, seeing different cultures, and really having a good understanding of what this world has to offer, and being able to understand people from all different walks of life. And it honestly is such an amazing experience to talk about something you can be passionate about, to share with people something that you believe in and you know is a true trip of a lifetime. And that's probably the reason why I've stuck with it and love what I do.
Sure. And I love that saying that says travel is the only thing you spend money on that makes you richer. So
Yes,
certainly
yes, I
agree with
totally
that.
agree with that. It's not about money sometimes. I mean, money gets you places, but it really is what you can take away from those experiences, the memories. Those are, just the best, the best. There's probably better adjectives than best, the best, but you know what I mean. It's what makes living worth so amazing. You're making the most out of your life by seeing the world and places that you can travel and experience.
Sure. You mentioned some great names there, Banff, Jasper, Lake Louise, Vancouver. And I know that Rocky Mountaineer has several itineraries. Do you have one that's a standout for you that's a favorite?
Oh my goodness. I mean, so we have three different routes. And the way we operate, know that we operate from mid-April to mid-October. And it's three different routes, either 2 or 3 days on the train, depending which route you take. You can go eastbound or westbound. I love going eastbound, starting in Vancouver and heading east because the hills become mountains, the mountains become glaciers. The wildlife gets so much more abundant and climatic, and yet it's like icing on the cake. The best is yet to come. My favorite would probably be the Journey Through the Clouds Explorer. And that's 2 days on the train heading up to Jasper. I would recommend spending at least 2 nights when you get to places like Banff or Lake Louise or Jasper. Because if you just do one night, you're checking in the evening, checking out first thing in the morning, and you're going to regret rushing through this beautiful part of the world. So slow time down and know that Rocky Mountaineer will handle everything for you: your hotels, transfers, tours, meals, everything except airfare. But the best thing about us is how customizable we are. So you can really work with your budget. Work with Rick. He'll pretty much tell you exactly what he recommends, but he'll be able to pretty much, I think the best thing is make sure your budget fits with exactly what you want to do. Choose between 3-star properties and 5-diamond resorts. Choose which tours interest you and which tours don't. Customize and build a trip that makes sense. But the Journey Through the Clouds Explorer is 2 days on the train, 4 to 6 nights in the Canadian Rockies. You can always, once again, edit the amount of days to work with your budget, and then fly out of Calgary. It's a one-way trip, and that'd be my favorite. The all-time favorite, honestly, would be the Grand Rail Circle. That's 5 days on the Rocky Mountaineer train, 7 nights in the Canadian Rockies. That's a true check mark to experience what we have to offer, and that's a full circle Vancouver round trip. So one way, first journey through the clouds, explore, round trip, Grand Rail Circle. I know it's a lot, but I want to be honest with all your.
And you already told us some of the great things the Rocky Mountaineer does. They take care of your porterage and you're booking your hotels and your train and all your food that's on the train. But what's something that somebody might be surprised to find out about Rocky Mountaineer when they went to book for their first trip ever?
Oh man, there's so much. I mean, we're very unique and different. And what I feel that stands out is perhaps one item that just came to the top of my mind is the fine dining. We have Michelin trained chefs cooking made to order food literally a few feet away from where you're sitting on board the train. We have two classes services, Silverleaf and Gold Leaf. Silverleaf is a single story car. Gold Leaf is a two-story car. Both have the Michelin trained chefs on board. Silverleaf, the food is plated and brought to your seat. In Gold Leaf, you have a full dining area. So instead of eating at your seat, you have a full dining area to go to and have a lot more variety of options to choose from compared to Silverleaf. But it's just incredible fine dining. And one other point to kind of bring up, if you compare our train to other trains out there, maybe you're more familiar with, like Amtrak or Via Rail, we're very different from those trains. First, you sleep on board the majority of those trains, usually in a bunk bed with a shared toilet. Remember, with us, never sleep on board. The speed, big difference. Average speed for Amtrak and Via Rail is 60 to 75 miles an hour, where Rocky Mountaineer's average speed is 30 to 35 miles an hour. And we slow down to less than 5 miles an hour for all the bridges, waterfalls, wildlife, wilderness. You're not missing anything along the way. I mean, I can go on and on. There's so many big differences that really make us stand out. But I mean, it's really a trip of a lifetime. For example, a place like TripAdvisor, a place where people spew hate and anger and negative feedback. We've been given a certificate of excellence for customer service over the past 19 years in a row. National Geographic has given us best train trip to take for the past 4 years in a row. We have more awards and accolades than the Orient Express. So I'm just trying to provide peace of mind. Whether you travel with us next year or many years from now, we're going to be here for many years to come. We've already been in operation for 30 years. We're not planning to disappear, go anywhere anytime soon. And we're only going to be expanding over the near future.
Wow. Oh, you might have answered this next question in what you just said, but of the entire experience that somebody can have on the Rocky Mountaineer, what is your favorite part of the whole experience?
You know, we have these outdoor veranda spaces on every single one of our train cars. Silverleaf, this outdoor veranda space holds up to 6 to 10 people. 6 will be comfortable amount of space. 10 will be kind of pushing it. But Gold Leaf holds up to 16 to 20 people. It's about 3 times the size larger than what we have on Silverleaf. And that outdoor veranda space is open anytime once you're on the train. And that's probably my favorite part of the train car because you're going to get the fresh forest smells. You're going to see the wildlife and wilderness up close. Speaking of wildlife, if you are into seeing bears, mountain goats, moose, elk, deer, coyotes, bighorn sheep, well, there's a lot of it to be seen. In fact, places like Jasper, that's bear country. If you want to be guaranteed, it's hard to guarantee nature where it's going to be, but there's just, we're talking tens of thousands of bears in around Jasper. So going there at certain times of the year, especially around May, beginning of June, it's when statistically hibernation has ended and there's a lot more sights seeing of all the different wildlife. And our train will once again slow down to less than 5 miles an hour. So you're able to see all the wildlife up close. And another big difference, no other passenger train is allowed on the same train tracks that we use. We're the only passenger train allowed to go by some of the most biggest bridges, by some of the biggest waterfalls, and through the famous spiral tunnels. And another big point to just kind of mention to everyone, if you're interested in seeing highlights of these different routes or highlights of this train service that I'm talking about, you don't have to go any further than Rick right here. He has all of these links, all of these videos, really easy to share with you. They're 1 to 2 minute videos in length. I know he's sharing with these on social media, but you're in such good hands by working with him. He's a preferred partner of Rocky Mountaineer. And I really feel that he probably knows all the answers to any question you may ask. But if you do stump him, I'm in his back pocket to be utilized. I'm happy to help out in any way possible.
Sure. Well, I really appreciate that, but I'll also share. I don't think you even know this, Jeff. I'm a Canadian living.
Hey, I didn't know that.
And we've been to Banff and Jasper and Vancouver and Lake Louise many, many times. We actually own timeshare property still in Banff.
Oh, that's
So
great.
I can attest personally just how beautiful that entire area is.
Yeah, I mean, that just shows to you how experienced you are as a travel agent and travel partner and advisor. I feel like that type of experience, being able to be there, to know it really well, you probably know all the different hotels that are offered. You can share personal experiences, photos, share with certain, different even walking routes and, different hiking trails and rivers and waterfalls to go see. And that's incredible experience to share amongst with your clients. So I once again think you're all working in such great hands with Rick here. He's the best.
Absolutely. Thank you. And so we often think of Rocky Mountaineer as an add-on to a cruise, either going before a cruise or after a cruise. But you mentioned that 7 day with 5 nights on the train. That would make a great standalone vacation as well, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean, in 2019, just to be honest about the whole pre and post cruise tour options, we had around 49% of people who were on Rocky Mountaineer had a pre or post cruise tour attachment. So it's become very popular over the recent years. Many have done Denali already and looking for something unique and different. And we work with all cruise lines, but I do just want to share with all your clients that it's definitely better to, I think, work directly with a travel advisor and build this package right from the start there, as opposed to going through a third party. Because we have partnerships with different cruise lines. We have partnerships with Globus, Trafalgar, Colette, National Geographic. But please know, we don't discount, we don't rebate, we don't work with companies like Costco. The price is the price. And we're so customizable. But if you go through a third party, if you go through another partner or another cruise line to book something, you're pretty much locking in the price and you can't customize anything. But if you go through Rick here, you can customize pretty much everything. Add nights, take away nights, add tours, take away tours, work with your budget. And like I said, the cruise line experience has really taken off in popularity. It may slow down a bit moving forward. I don't think it probably will have too much of a dent, because people who love to cruise love to cruise. It's great seeing the world and, in so many different stops and having it on one different trip as opposed to multiple different flights in between different areas. And it can be like icing on the cake. At the end of your cruise, that's the way I would recommend it. A post-cruise tour, get off your ship, head eastbound, fly home from Calgary, and it's going to be an amazing experience.
Sure. And so, because this is the summer of 2019, and a lot of people are thinking about what's been going on with the COVID, let's just talk.
Summer of 2020. Sorry, you said 2019, but 2020. Go
Oh,
ahead.
2020. Sorry. Yes, we're in 2020. I wish I was in 2019, but we're in
Me
the
too.
summer of 2020, and we are living in a COVID world. And so let's talk briefly about some of the things you're doing for COVID, because I know you're going to provide us a link, which I will supply with this video as well. But maybe just touch on one of the two highlights.
Yeah, sure, of course. So, your safety, health, everyone who comes and travels with us in the near future, it's going to be our utmost importance, just as every supplier is going to say that. We're going to be checking everyone's temperature at the beginning of the day, even probably at the end of the day. We're going to be using a lot more motor coaches than we ever had before to spread people out, keeping a social distance of 6 feet apart on the motor coach, even 6 feet apart on the train. We have over 21 engines, over 65 train cars. So once again, trying to maintain that social distancing throughout the whole entire experience. We still have a train station in multiple areas, and that used to be a place to congregate everyone, get 500 to 600 people in a room, get them excited, blow a train whistle. We're going to use a train station as just a place to walk through, but instead of having a congregation of people, you're going to walk right from there into the train car, and on the train car you go, to once again limit the amount of congestion and crowds you're actually all part of. So I think there'll be a lot more different safety procedures to come. There is a link, exactly what you just explained, that you'll have to share with everyone. And I welcome everyone to check out our website, www.rockymountaineer.com. You can click on that link and be able to see exactly what I'm talking about. And this is fluid. We are, adding things and changing things as it moves forward, because as we're in the middle of this and the researchers are sharing new facts and new details.
What do you think you would be doing?
Oh boy. That's a tough one. That's a really good tough one. I don't know. Okay, I am a part of a thing, but I play drums as also a lead singer, and I think I could be a pretty good musician, a good, just someone who goes around and entertains people and has fun on stage and makes people happy and everything. So that would be kind of a cool dream. Not saying that's reality, but there you go. That's the first thing that came to mind of something that I think would be really fun, and if it paid the bills, that would really be incredible. So, yeah.
Sure. Well, I appreciate that, and I appreciate you being on our segment today with us. So thank you very much.
You're so welcome. Yeah.
Thank you. Have a
Have a
great
great one, everyone.